Alex, Yolanda Alvarado is a hero. It's a story that couldn't possibly be recorded from the air. I'm going to tell you her story in just a moment, but as we pan off and look at the house in question, I can tell you that it was very dramatic as all hell was breaking loose. Bullets were flying. Yolanda saw a bloodied woman emerge from that house, and she risked her own life to save her.
So I looked up and I see a man shooting across the street, aimed, and he shot. And so I slammed the door shut and I told my family to get down.
Yolanda Alvarado has lived in this Valinda neighborhood for over 50 years. But last Friday, March 10th, is a day she'll never forget. It's a story not told. Now, for the first time on Fox 11, Alvarado says she heard a horrific booming sound, watched a gunman point a gun in her direction in the 16,000 block of Wing Lane in Valinda. She urgently called 911 as people ran from the home. And then this.
A few minutes later, a lady comes out, the neighbor, and she's bleeding, crying, hysterical.
Despite being gripped by fear of the assailant, Alvarado, a good Samaritan, helped the woman who said her ex-boyfriend attacked her.
She was bleeding, had gashes on her forehead and on her cheek, and just swollen from the bruising that he gave her, and just felt sorry for her. She had a towel holding back the blood.
On Friday, dozens of people evacuated by sheriffs from the neighborhood because of the gunfire. Deputies worked feverishly to contain the neighborhood.
I see a man, not very tall, carry a big gun.
Neighbors were 3 days out of their homes, staying with relatives or at a hotel paid for by the county. Some felt the gunman was not trying to hurt them. Monday, Alvarado surveyed her home looking for bullet holes. The evacuation was over.
No damage, as far as I can see. There's no bullet holes in the side of the house, so I imagine everything's okay.
The gunman's home itself looked like a war zone. Gaping holes, broken glass, and votive candles. People who identified themselves as family of the man would not talk. They were overcome with grief. After a very long standoff, it was over. A coroner investigator said lacerations consistent with suicide were found on the suspect. It's believed he took his own life. The standoff occurred nearly the entire weekend. As for the full autopsy report, that'll take some time to have the exact cause of death. But for this evening, we are choosing to focus on the actions of Mrs. Alvarado. Laura Diaz reporting live from Valinda. Now back to the studio.